So the other day, I received a fascinating email from one of you that I realized is gold to read to you out loud and answer for all of you, because it is all about manifestation and competition. And we really need to get into the nitty-gritty details of this. Everything she talks about, even though it's specific to her circumstances, is stuff that I'm sure you've thought about and you've been confused about. So we need to get into this today. We're going to go deep into this. Even if you haven't been thinking about competition in your manifestation, this is going to help you. We're going to get so deep into the core of what we're really doing as manifestors. So this is going to be a great video. Let's get into it. But before we do that, I will introduce myself to any of you who maybe you don't know me yet. Maybe you just found me just now. You clicked on this because you were like, whoa, that's a weird title. Let's watch her. Welcome. My name is Genevieve and I'm a manifestation coach. And I am the kind of coach that really wants to explain things in depth to you. I don't want to give you little soundbite answers to things that everyone else gives, where it's like all these parroted things. Everyone's just saying the same thing over and over again, especially when it comes to law of assumption. I want to get deeper so that those sound bites actually start to make more sense. And in today's video, especially, we're going to go so deep that I know those sound bites you're used to hearing, especially the ones about it's your reality and only certain things can happen in your reality. You know, that stuff that people really gotten on board with saying over and over again. We're going to get deeper into that and really unravel what's really going on when it comes to your reality and manifesting 3D outcomes in your reality. So if you, like me as a coach, and want to work more in depth with me, there are lots of ways to do that. I have courses. You can find the links to all of those down below. You can also find the links below to book a session with me or to join the membership portion of this channel. There's just all kinds of links below, and there's also tons of other free videos on this channel. Feel free to binge everything and just, walk away from just the free content, a master manifestor. So that's that. Let's read her email. It's really good. I'm going to read most of it to you because it will really highlight a lot of the nuance that you probably also get confused about in your own life. So let's read the email and then let's dive in to what's really going on here. Hi Genevieve, there's a question that keeps haunting me, and I thought that maybe it could be a topic for a YouTube video, as there may be other people wondering something similar. So here it is. What happens if my SP, my ex, has been a successful conscious manifestor for 20 plus years? He has learned that I recently discovered Neville's teachings, and he has figured out that I am manifesting him, and he is actively manifesting me away, scripting, affirming that I find someone else, etc. I am just not understanding how that works. Who wins if I am trying to manifest him while he is trying to manifest me to go away and leave him alone? I have this belief that he is more powerful than me because I have learned from living with him for a while that he always gets what he wants. And in the 3D, he has been clear that he just wants us to be friends and nothing more. In the opposite scenario, there is another man who is very interested in me. And I'm afraid that if and when he finds out about conscious manifesting, maybe he might try to manifest me. And I am absolutely not interested in him at all, except as a friend. And I would try to manifest him away if I ever had any inkling that he was trying to manifest me. Who would win in this scenario, and how and why? I can't wrap my head around this. I have viewed thousands of manifestation videos by now, and I have never come across anything that thoroughly explains how this works by taking into consideration both my reality and my SP's reality. I think you are one of the few coaches out there who understands the law on a much deeper spiritual level. This scenario really confuses me. I keep hearing that I am the only creator in my reality, but my SP is also the only creator in his reality. So why would my desire to be with him be more important than his desire not to be with me in his reality? I have been trying to rationalize this, to try to calm my fears of rejection and abandonment, which I'm sure are the things that are bringing this scenario in my head to begin with, but I just can't figure out how this works. Having these thoughts makes me feel totally stuck in my manifestation process. and I feel almost hopeless that I would have to invest years and years in coaching sessions to catch up to my SP, who has been a master at conscious manifesting for 2 decades. He would win this game. He has been extremely disciplined all his life with his thoughts and everything else, while discipline is something I am starting to develop now through this manifestation process. I am hoping that the answer to this question is something that will give me encouragement that I can get my SP back. I keep repeating, my desire is promised, but the scenario I have in my mind, him trying to manifest me away, makes me wonder if that can be true in this case. So this is an amazing email. I loved that this person took the time to thoughtfully write out all of these thoughts and questions, because these are the real questions that people really need answers on. And I know that, like a lot of other manifestation coaches, they might hear a question like this and they would give you this kind of answer. Well, in your reality, that's not happening. That's only happening in the old reality. You have to stay loyal to your new reality where that's not happening and your SP chooses you, and you just have to stay loyal to your reality, and that's not happening. Now, all this stuff's not happening. You just have to stay focused on your reality. And at first, when we hear that, it makes sense. And we're like, oh, okay, yeah, I can get on board with that. But after some time, especially after you've been doing this a long time and you are getting deeper in your self-concept practice, being told kind of a superficial, dry answer like that doesn't have much substance, it's kind of like being handed a piece of gum when really you're needing like a full meal. That piece of gum is only going to hold you over for so long in your faith until you get something with more substance that's actually going to make sense. So today I am going to do my best to give you the full meal that you are looking for, but I do need to preface this before I get into my answers, and there are multiple answers to all of this, because as always, there are nuances, and because she's pointing out so many contradictions even in her questions, there's gonna maybe be nuances and even contradictions in the answers I give you. But I'm saying this because nothing I tell you is meant to make you think that you can't get the 3D result that you want, or that you should give up on your desire, or that you should just like let it go and manifest something else. I never intend to make you think that way, but I'm going to ask you to embrace contradiction, because a big part of manifestation work is completely releasing the ego and going into a deeper level of trust that is so far beyond circumstances and ego stuff and ego judgment and ego evaluation. Because I'll just start out by saying right now, so much of this email is all just ego. It's just ego. It's just a lot of ego stuff. And guess what? Your ego isn't manifesting. Your ego isn't the one that manifests. It is your higher spiritual power that manifests. Your ego is a tool that you definitely use at times throughout your manifestation skill learning, but the ego itself does not manifest. And honestly, one of the first things I'll say about this email is that the ego is obviously blinding this person a bit, where she's so stuck in the current 3D ego stuff that it's hard for her to like move to the higher level, like to get out of that and say, okay, this isn't me. Like none of this is real. Like if we're really going to embrace shifting realities or getting into my reality versus the old reality, we have to actually become detached from everything first. We have to learn to detach from our ego. This is what we mean by having a healthy mental diet, is that throughout your day, you are not so attached to your thoughts and your feelings. You are not over-identifying with every perception that you're having. Because if you're still really over-considering and over-analyzing everything and just really taking seriously all of these ego questions that pop up, and of course all of it's really about control. All of this is about control. If you're really taking all those control dramas that are happening in your ego seriously, then yeah, it's difficult to step into that higher spiritual power, because you're still right here in this like frontal lobe ego, like let's stay safe, let's figure this out, let's do all the research, let's do all the analyzing. That's where you're stuck, and this isn't gonna do anything for you. This isn't gonna manifest. So that's the first thing here, is that all of this competition stuff, it's all just current stuff in your ego reality that of course it's understandable. It makes sense in your current reality. If someone's physically telling you, hey, I don't want to be with you. Hey, please don't manifest me. I'm a better manifester than you, and I'm going to manifest you to go away. Like, if that's really directly happening in your face in 3D, it's very understandable that that would upset your ego and that would feel like a big problem to deal with. But we cannot stay in the land of trying to figure that out and trying to calculate who's going to win. We cannot figure that out from staying here in this ego level land. So that's the first thing. The next thing we have to get to, and I think that I mentioned this once in another video, I don't even remember which one, but I have to say it again. We have to stop thinking of manifestation again from a very egoic place where it's almost like some sort of like Harry Potter spell casting, where it's like, I'm gonna do my spell on you and then you do a counter spell on me and then who's gonna win in the Harry Potter battle? Like, we're thinking of, it's again a very egoic interpretation of like, I do something to you, you do something back to me, who's gonna win, as if you're doing like a jousting event and you're both like pointing your little jousty things at each other, like who's gonna actually win? It's like, again, all ego, where it's like, and it makes so much sense because we're human. So I'm not trying to make you feel bad for having ego. It's a big, big part of who we are as humans. We like decipher almost everything in 3D reality through our ego. But I want you to see it differently. That manifestation, again, it operates from a plane of reality that is so far beyond 3D understanding. It is not like, I'm gonna do this to you and then you do a counter spell on me and who's gonna win because who's the stronger, more experienced conscious manifester. No, that's again all ego. That's not what we're doing. That's not even what healthy, sustainable manifestation really looks like. But as I said, I get why you, email writer, and so many other people are thinking of this in that way. Like, anytime there's any sort of hint of competition, like, well, what if someone else is manifesting my SP? Who's gonna win? Is it gonna be me or the other person? Or like in this example, what if my SP doesn't want me and is trying to manifest me away? The only way to get out of all of this ego stuff, like if we're trying to get the answer, like, okay, I get this is ego, Genevieve, but like, how do I turn this down? How do I stop this noise from bothering me? The key, the best key, probably the only key I found that's actually been effective to stop all of this, and again, it's a contradiction, but you have to embrace it, is you have to accept the current reality. How you get out of the ego noise about, oh, now he wants to manifest me away, and now what do I do to make sure that my desire is the stronger one? You have to accept, if he tells you, if your SP, like in this example, tells you, hey, I found out you're manifesting me, I'm really not down, don't do that, and I'm gonna manifest you to go away. You have to just smile and nod and say, okay, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. In my experience, that is the only way to neutralize all of this stuff and allow yourself and the 3D reality to have room to grow to a different level of relating to each other. Because as I've mentioned before, this whole SP thing in particular is about manifesting a different dynamic with the person of your choosing. I like relating to SP manifestation in that way because that also kind of changes the way you're thinking about it. And it can kind of help you to get out of the whole spell casting Harry Potter thing, because it's like, oh yeah, I'm not like egoically casting my net across them and like pulling them back to me. This isn't a battle of egos. This isn't a battle of wills. This is, how do I, in the most loving, non-resistant way, change the way that I relate to this person in a genuine way that allows them to change the way that they are therefore relating to me. Because if you are resistant to him, if he tells you, hey, don't manifest me anymore, I'm manifesting you away, and your reaction to that is, oh no, now I have to manifest even stronger to like really make sure that I can like cast my spell on him, you are not getting out of the level of consciousness that created this whole paradigm to begin with. If you're reacting to what he's saying and you're resisting what he's saying and you're bothered by what he's saying and you're saying, no, I can't accept that, you have to be my person and I love you. If you're reacting in that way, again, you're still engaging in the old paradigm of thinking, the old paradigm of relating, and it's just two egos just battling against each other. And this applies to everyone, even if your situation is a third party or someone really is trying to manifest your SP as well. You have to go into total non-threatened acceptance of that, where you truly just have to smile and nod, just be like, okay, that other person's manifesting my SP too, or okay, there's a third party here. When you can just be so accepting, there is some spiritual magic that happens where all of a sudden things finally do have space to move. When you finally just let your ego accept and be like, okay, I'm done fighting. Ego is putting up the white flag of surrender. I'm not trying to fight this guy. I'm not trying to fight my current 3D reality. Even if there's weird things that really threaten my idea of my SP or really threaten my idea of manifesting, I am going to practice being like, it's so not a threat to me. It is so okay. There is nothing wrong here. And when I say accept, I also mean, and this is what might trigger some of you, genuinely deeply accept. Like in the example of this case, like if your person is coming up to you and saying, I really don't want to be with you, like really want you to leave me alone, like do not want to be with you. You have to wholeheartedly accept that for two reasons. The first one is they are saying that to you in the first place in a way that's trying to show you that you are pushing out through them in a bad way. Like they're trying to give you feedback that says, okay, the way you've been doing your relating to me, your energy towards me, it's not working for me. If someone's physically telling you, leave me the fuck alone, and I know this guy, he's not saying that to this writer, but if they're saying something strong to you, like, I'm gonna manifest you away, I don't want you here. They are trying to help you by helping you to see that you pushed out through them right now is not good. So when you can finally like withdraw the energy that you've been like pushing and pushing, like trying to push out through them, and it's just making them like more resistant towards you, the way you dissolve that is you fully accept it and you withdraw that vibe that you were giving them. And I get that a lot of you might think like, well, I'm not meaning to give a bad vibe. I just love them so much and I'm just, I'm trying to be loving towards them. But if they're showing you in the 3D that they really do not, they're not into it, you have to fully accept what they're saying and completely withdraw your energy. And again, that magically causes things to get back to a level playing field when you genuinely accept what they're saying. And yeah, in this person's example, I would actually say for you, if I was your coach right now, which obviously I am, is stop manifesting him for now. It's time for a little bit of a reset. And am I saying that because you're never going to manifest him? Am I saying that because I don't want you to manifest him? Am I saying that because this is impossible? No, I'm saying that because this is why personal coaching can be so, so important. A lot of you need to see there are stages of manifestations, and some of you don't even know like what you really should be focusing on at this stage in your manifestation. And if I was coaching this person, which again I am in this moment, I would say at this stage, it's time to fully, totally agree with what he's saying. Let him temporarily, if we're gonna play in the world of like 3D energy right now, let him temporarily win. Let him believe that he's won or whatever the heck it is, and do a total reset. Bring your energy back into incognito mode. Rebuild yourself, because this whatever this has been, you pushing on him, him pushing on you, has not been working. You need to completely agree. Say, okay, you're right, dude. I'm done with you, and you are as well. You are done with this version of him. This is what we mean by you're only accepting the version of people that actually is the version you want. And if this version of him sucks, because it sounds like it does, it sounds like he doesn't want you in this version of him, it sounds like he's totally happy without you in this version of him, you don't want this version. So you want to agree with like, yeah, you're right, dude, do not want this, I'm gonna go away. And again, I know I'm talking about her situation in particular, but this applies to everything. Agreeing to whatever's being asked of you in the current 3D. If the current 3D is asking you to accept that there's a third party or whatever, you wholeheartedly accept it. I know that that's difficult when your ego is so trying to avoid feeling feelings of disappointment or heartbreak or whatever. And that's why you're pushing and pushing so hard in your ego on your manifestation. But believe me, the 3D is trying to give you feedback to say you need to go within and get more into your own stable power first before you can come back in a healthier way to this dynamic with this person. Because right now you are too caught up in the momentum of the current weird 3D thing you got going on. The fact that, like you said in this email, that you are really bothered by these questions, and then this other guy who you think really likes you and wants to manifest you. I've actually gotten asked these kinds of questions before in coaching sessions where someone asks, well, what if a guy I don't like wants to manifest me? Or what if someone else tries to manifest me? Like, I'm just not going to have free will? If you are going into those questions in kind of a fearful, again, completely egoic way where you are kind of forgetting that you are everything and nothing, that's how we become powerful conscious creators. We become a lot more detached to everything. This is why detachment is such a big piece of power when it comes to manifesting. If we are manifesting in this way that's like, I can't handle it if someone manifests me, or what if my SP never chooses me? If we're really in that kind of a very dependent self-concept where like we can't even imagine our lives, we're so attached, we can't even imagine our lives without XYZ person choosing us, then it's no wonder that maybe you've even been doing this years and years and nothing has changed. The power of true detachment, empowered detachment, is a natural consequence of you really pulling back from everything. Okay, everything in the 3D reality, a lot of these games out here, it's all 3D stuff. And if I really want to master the game of manifestation, if you want to call it that, or the game of the 3D, I need to stop over-identifying with these things I'm obsessed with. Like this guy I'm too obsessed with, I need to pull back from him. Doesn't mean you're not going to manifest him, but you need to completely pull back from the thing you're currently doing right now. Pull back and get into yourself again. And all I mean by that is focusing on, wow, in this moment, I can tap into how fulfilled I feel. True manifestation power comes all back to you are choosing to be fulfilled no matter what. This is why we say circumstances don't matter, although we also say circumstances don't matter for this very reason, where it's like you've got to go beyond the ego. The ego is all obsessed with circumstances. You've got to let that go and be like, I'm not playing with any of this circumstance stuff. I'm not giving any of my power away to any of this circumstance stuff, because also competition, it's all ego stuff, it's all circumstance stuff. You have to withdraw any energy or focus you are giving to it and really come within and be like, this is all about me. That I can acknowledge that I have this amazing power to tap into fulfillment and tapping into just like, whoa, I actually don't need anything. I can just be here with myself right now and tap into a feeling within that's like, whoa, I am love. I am fulfillment. I just am. That is the solid foundation we have to build as manifestors. If we then want to be able to maneuver things in the 3D reality and move the pieces on the chessboard in the 3D, because we're able to do it from a much more higher level spiritual focus that's not so much about, oh, but I need to have him and I won't be happy without him. Instead, it's a higher level focus where it's more of acknowledging a preference. Like you're just acknowledging, it's my preference to love this man and to be with him and to respect him and have mutual great communication. But I'm acknowledging that preference not from a place of dependency on him. I am completely fulfilled within, and I'm simply acknowledging that that's a preference. But as I've said before in videos, which I know trigger some of you, you have to kind of get into a truly faith-surrendered place of that knowing that even if it never truly changed in the 3D, that you would be okay. And again, this is also one of those paradoxes that I know annoys everyone, but I say it so often because it is what I have found that truly works. It has worked for me so many times. I've seen it work for my clients so many times, that when they really do more genuinely get into that state of like, yeah, I love this man, it would be awesome to be with him, but if he did decide to never choose me, I would genuinely be awesome, because there are many amazing men or women or people, whatever you're into, out there that I could also be with. And again, you might be hearing that and be like, well, Genevieve, now you're saying that my desire's not going to happen. No, I am trying to get you to embrace the paradox that when you genuinely get into that, weirdly, your SP starts to become obsessed with you, because you are no longer engaging in the energy dynamic with them that's all about them. Like, I'm obsessed with you, SP. I need you. please choose me, I'm gonna die without you, they can feel you're in a higher power now, if you want to call it that. A different, more genuine magnetic power where you don't need them. You're not trying to manifest them. You're not trying to win. There's no game here that you're like, oh, who's going to win? My SP who's stronger or me? Am I going to be stronger? We're not doing that. Instead, you are done with that game. You are so accepting of whatever your SP does, and you are going to a higher level that's much more healthfully self-focused and is genuinely about what's best for you. And again, you're still acknowledging your preference, but you're not doing it from that place of like dependency and obsession and all that stuff. So as I said before, for this particular email writer, as your coach, I want you to actually stop manifesting him just for a few weeks. Just really completely take the focus off him. Energetically agree to whatever rule he's decided to make in this current reality. The way to get out of this reality is to just agree with it. You're just totally non-resistant. Neville Goddard talks about non-resistant so much, and it kind of annoys me that I don't often hear others talking about it so much. But maybe that's also because I don't really watch a lot of other people's videos so much anymore. But Neville himself put so much emphasis on you have to be completely accepting of your current reality. That means you're not threatened by it. You just accept it. Third party pops up, boom, accept it, cool. Not threatened, accepting in fact. Competition pops up, oh, you want to manifest my SP? Okay, have fun. A very genuine acceptance, non-resistance, because that is how you keep yourself from getting entangled in that reality. The minute you become resistant to, oh no, what if someone tries to manifest me? Or, oh no, what if someone takes my SP from me? If you get into that, your resistance to it causes you to stay attached to it. So again, this whole email, it's all about she's attaching herself to all of these ego things that she's thought of. And it's such a good email because I said, these are things that so many of you think of and get very distracted by. Pull your energy back, get out of the ego, agree to everything in this current reality, be non-threatened by it. Again, I know it's such a freaking paradox, but the more you agree to it and say, yep, that's fine, dude, because I am not playing on this level of reality anymore. I'm going to a higher level, and even if that higher level doesn't include you, dude, that's okay because I'm choosing me. I'm choosing me in such a genuine way that therefore actually makes me a powerful manifester. I actually become magnetic. So having an independent, sovereign self-concept is really going to help with all of this. And once you feel really stable in more genuinely buying that your fulfillment actually comes from you, it doesn't come from him or whatever you're trying to manifest from him, that is when it's easier to extend that fulfillment that you are embodying because it's coming from you and your connection with God, to extend that to him. And again, a no pressure way. It has to be a no, it can't be a spell, a Harry Potter spell and you're trying to reel him in. It cannot really be that way. That's never worked for me. That's why I cannot possibly teach from that kind of an ego level because that's never worked for me. Believe me, when I first started discovering this years ago, I totally was in a freaking lot of ego and I went into a lot of suffering because I was trying to manifest really heavily from my ego. Disappointment at every turn. But when you can acknowledge that, yes, you've got this love for this man, it is obviously your preference that you have a relationship, but you are acknowledging that from this higher sense of fulfillment, that you're simply extending it to him and he always has his choice to choose you, this weird thing happens where he probably is going to choose you because he doesn't feel that resistance pushing on him anymore, and you are embodying that total love and fulfillment that's so juicy and magnetic to all of us humans. So again, this applies to anywhere in your life where you're perceiving competition. And I get when it comes to specific people, manifestations, it's very easy to perceive competition because there's only, one of your person that you prefer. So it's very easy to get real in your head about third parties or even your SP themselves. Like in this case, like telling you, do not manifest me. But you've got to get out of the ego, accept all of this, be like, sure, that's totally fine. Good, we're not doing that anymore. Go within yourself in a deeper, healthier way, really start to gain momentum in your own self-sustained energy here, fulfillment, love, whatever you want to call it. That true tapping into God power that actually creates realities. And then once you feel more stable in that, you can incorporate back in maybe some affirming about your SP, but it cannot be from that same place that's all about like, I gotta get him. Because he will feel that energy instantly. If it's all about him and needing him and you're not going to live without him, he will feel that and continue to be pushed away by that, because that is your resistance. That need for him is your resistance. You got to be totally non-resistant. And that's why I'm saying to embrace the paradox that even if he never came back, you'd still be happy. Because when you're genuinely there, that's when manifesting is so freaking easy, no matter who or what you are manifesting. Okay, this video has definitely gotten long enough. I really hope that this helped to answer some of these questions about competition and resistance, you know, the whole thing. And just get out of your head about the whole like my reality versus his reality. This is also why a lot of those like soundbite things we say a lot, like, yo, you're the only creator of your reality. It can almost start to get hijacked by your ego itself, because then it starts to think about, well, yeah, my reality, but then and it's like, it just causes overthinking sometimes. When we say the same thing too much, the mind can just get a hold of that and then start to try to dissect it from different angles to try to figure it out. There's nothing to figure out manifesting. Get out of thinking, get out of your ego. So, okay, I'm really done. This was a lot of talking today. Let me know your thoughts and questions in the comments below. And if you have a question that's really, really good and is gonna be helpful for a lot of people to hear the answer to, you can always email me too, I guess, or just put your question in the comments. That works too. Thank you guys, and I will see you in my next video. All right, bye.